Howdy y'all, this is Ranger, Dallas, Texas-based correspondent from In the Loop. I got bored, so I decided to take a trip out here to Cedar Point. It is Saturday, September 23rd, 2017. I've never been here for the Halloween event, so I will try to make some kind of video where I review some of the mazes and other haunted attractions here. This particular video, I'll be checking out some of the rides I have not ridden. It's been about 3 years since I've been here. And so this is going to be somewhat of a random video of me walking around saying whatever I think. Sometimes people tend to get offended when I do these kinds of videos, and I don't really care. So you've been warned. We'll start with Gatekeeper, Cedar Point's 2013 roller coaster. This ride kind of gets a meta review from the coaster community. It's kind of the Applebee's of the Cedar Point roller coaster collection. And I can see why it's not super intense like some of these Intamin rides that we've been known for, some of the new RMC roller coasters. But it's still a pretty good ride though. It's really long and it's got different kinds of elements. Airtime, although the restraints are pretty restrictive. Overall, I'd say it's the third best wing coaster from B&M behind Thunderbird and X-Flight. I think X-Flight is a really good ride. But visually, it's very impressive, though. This is the same roller coaster that you saw at the entrance in the previous clip. This is Rougarou. This used to be Mantis, a stand-up roller coaster, and in 2015 it was transitioned using these new sit-down trains for B&M into a sit-down roller coaster. I thought this was a bit of a cheap move by Cedar Point just to put new trains on this roller coaster and call it a new ride, but I feel like it turned out pretty good. It's still a pretty good ride. It's forceful. It's a lot more comfortable than what it used to be. Let me show you what the remainder of the ride looks like. So it's nowhere near the tier of some of the better floorless roller coasters that B&M makes, like Dominator and Batman: The Dark Knight at New England is pretty good, and Krypton Coaster in San Antonio also very good. But honestly, it's better than I thought it would be, so definitely worth a ride here. This is Cedar Point's newest roller coaster, the 2016 built Valraven. This is a dive coaster and it's the tallest one in the world. They freeze you at the top before this 90-degree drop. I haven't ridden this yet. I'm going to take a chance to ride it later tonight, but it's going to be dark, so you're not going to be able to see anything. So I'll go ahead and edit that coverage back in after this. There's 3 inversions on here, and people are raving about this last-minute roll. Okay, so here's Ranger's take on Valraven. They've got this board here that says all the records that this ride broke. Cedar Point, of course, likes to tout all the records that their coasters break. So this is the first drop, and they freeze you at the top. You get an amazing view of the whole park. This is the best view on any ride here at the park currently, I would say, just because you're so close to so many roller coasters. The drop itself, well over 200 feet straight down all the way. Great drop, although I have to say the restraints are the new B&M restraints. These are the wrong types of restraints for this ride. It takes away some of the excitement that you get from this drop that you get on the 2 dive coasters at the Busch parks. But I think the rest of the layout makes up for it. There's 3 total inversions, including this slow roll right here. And there's several seconds of airtime that feel just amazing on here. So Valraven, I still go ahead and say that it's the best dive coaster, even though I'm not in love with the restraints. So Maverick is cycling, but it's closed, to the surprise of nobody who knows anything about Intamin roller coasters. But anyway, this is an absolutely spectacular roller coaster. This is my number 3 overall ride. This is the one roller coaster that's open right now, because Steel Vintage isn't open yet. But it's the one ride that sort of does everything. It's got this 70-mile-per-hour launch in the tunnel. It's got a lift and a drop that's steeper than 90 degrees. It has inversions and some of the best airtime that you'll find on any roller coaster. So I'm a huge, huge fan of Maverick.
For my meal, I decided to eat at The Melt, which is a highly anticipated grilled cheese sandwich restaurant. This place is known for its large portion sandwiches with hearty and creative combinations of ingredients. The menu is abbreviated and doesn't have quite as many choices as other Melt locations. The Melt has a very solid selection of craft beers with about 10 choices. I ordered a Dude Abides sandwich, which includes meatballs, mozzarella wedges, marinara sauce, and provolone cheese on a grilled cheese sandwich. I ordered a whole and ate all of it. This was probably a bad idea because I went into a food coma for the rest of the afternoon, but the sandwich tasted great and the ingredients went well together. The check with one beer came out to $29 with tip included. My only complaint with the Melt was the service could have been better, as I waited almost 10 minutes before being acknowledged. Also, the restaurant had a waiting list that was 45 minutes long, and only half of the tables were occupied with guests. Overall, I would recommend the Melt, but I advise having one person in your party reserve a time while the rest of your group rides a ride or two.
Just outside the resort's gate is the Cedar Point Shores Water Park, newly named this title for 2016. I'll be here to check out this set of slides and all the rest of the slides next year when I come back in June to meet up with the rest of the In the Loop staff members. But this is the Magnum XL 200. This is the original hyper coaster, the first one over 200 feet tall. It is 28 years old and it is not holding up well at all. This ride is really bumpy, and it's not just like a wooden roller coaster bumpy. It violently throws you into the restraints, which are the worst restraints on any roller coaster in the entire world. It's scary not in like a I'm gonna fly out of my seat. It's more scary like I'm gonna die because I'm stuck on an elevator with Ray Rice. Yes, I used that joke before, but nobody actually watched that video, so I'm gonna use it again. So these bunny hills are just throwing you everywhere, and it's extremely painful, especially these last ones. So, Drew the Intern, you're completely wrong. This ride is not the best roller coaster in the world. It's not even close. I'm sorry. Same location is the Breakers Hotel is doing a massive expansion right here. And before we go, let's do a world's fastest review of Top Thrill Dragster and Millennium Force. These are two rides that I'm sure you've heard about. Very good chance that you've been on both of them. So I just wanted to get my 2 cents about each. Top Thrill Dragster is one of the great, it's like the one-hit wonder of the roller coaster industry. You ride it one time and it's just completely blows your mind. It's one of the most, if not the most intense roller coasters in the entire world. Launch absolutely crazy. 420 feet, 90 degrees. I mean, I'm sure you know all the statistics, but doesn't have the staying power as some of the longer, better roller coasters, in my opinion. So, I don't know. In some ways, it's like a top tier ride. In other ways, it just doesn't have the repeatability. And then Millennium Force, very, very good roller coaster. It still holds up well today. Not as good as I-305. Fury and Leviathan are all better rides, in my opinion. We're going to close out this video at Gemini Cedar Point's Racing Coaster, just because I happen to be here in the sun setting. It's time to go check out the Hollow Weekends Haunted House event here, so go ahead and watch for that video on the In the Loop channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Ranger signing out from Cedar Point.